Hello everyone, this is part 2 of my introduction to PowerPoint. Let's get started. Here I'm on this slide about coconuts, and let me just remind you that this is a presentation. So when people are watching your presentation, you want your text to be easy to read. Okay, so what that means is that you don't want to be writing a paragraph. Okay, you want to make it simple and concise and to the point. So our first thing that we're going to do is add text. Okay, and to do that, we can go to the Insert tab, and we can choose from the text group text box. Okay, so we're gonna click on text box, and as you can see, my mouse has changed, and I can click anywhere to add text, but I'm going to add it right here, right under coconuts. Okay, and I'm going to indent a little bit, and I'm gonna click right there, and as you can see, it added a text box, and I can start typing. So I'm going to type in the uses for coconuts. Okay, so I'm going to type in coconut milk. Okay, we use coconut for coconut oil. We do coconut butter, and maybe we do coconut flour. Okay, there are many uses for coconuts, but I'm going to go with those 4 things. Okay, and that's how you add a text box. Next, what I want to do is add bullet points to my text. So I have here all the uses for coconut, and I want it to be easier to read, so I'm going to add bullet points to this. So I'm going to select my text, and in the Home tab, under in the paragraph group, you'll see the bullets. Okay, and you can do bullets, these ones right here, right, the dots, or you can choose from numbers and letters. So I'm just gonna choose these square bullets. Okay, so I'm gonna choose that, and that's how you can add bullets into your presentation. Now that I have added bullets to my text, I want to make them stand out a little bit. Okay, so to do that, you can add some word art to it. Okay, and what is word art? Okay, if you select your text, okay, make sure you have your text selected. You can see the Format tab. Okay, if you don't have your text selected, so let me click off of it, you will not be able to see the Format tab. Okay, so make sure you have the Format tab selected, and you'll see the Format tab, and in the Format tab you'll see word art styles, and from there you can choose you can adjust or choose some word art styles, right? And you can click on more options here, this little button right here with the down arrow and a line, and it has some quick options for you to choose from right here. uh, and let's say I like this one, I can choose this one. So let me just choose that one. You can also go to text effects, okay, and add some shadows, okay, if you like. uh, Add some glow to each word. um, you can transform some words, right, your words, if you want. Okay, so you play with the options here. You can change the colors of your text. Okay, outline and text fill colors. Okay, so you can play with the word art style to add some more styles into your text to make it more appealing. Okay, and that is how you add word art. Next, I want to show you how to add a table to your presentation. So here I'm going to insert a new slide right here. for coconuts. I'm going to click on new, and I'm going to choose the title and content. And for this, I'm going to title this coconut uses. Okay, and from this placeholder, I can go right here and insert a table. If you don't have this placeholder, you can go to the insert tab, and then from here, from tables, okay, in the well, I think this is the tables group. Click on tables, and then you can insert your table here, right? Just like if you were in Microsoft Word. Okay, I'm just gonna undo that. Let me bring back my title. Um, but in this example, I'm gonna choose from here the insert table right here in my placeholder. I'm gonna click on that insert table, and it's gonna ask me how many columns and rows, and I only want 2 columns. Okay, columns are up and down, rows go across, and I want 4 rows. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. And here in the header row, okay, I'm gonna type in coconut dishes. I'm going to press tab to go over, and for this one I'm going to type coconut drinks. Okay, and in the coconut dishes, I'm just gonna type in some dishes that we use coconut for, and I'm just gonna say oh, coconut chicken. I'm gonna press int. Oh, sorry. Gonna click down here. I'm gonna type in coconut shrimp, and let's say coconut cake. For drinks, okay, I'm gonna click over here in the coconut drinks. I'm just gonna say we use coconut for coconut water. Okay, we use it in boba drinks, and we use it in cocktails. Okay, so that's drinks with alcohol. And so this is how you insert a table, and you can also resize the table as well, just like if you were to resize a picture. Okay, so I'm going to drag from the corner, and I can put my mouse over the border of the table, and I can move it. Okay, so that is how you can insert a table into a slide. Next, I want to show you shapes and what you can do with them. So I want my title to stand out a little bit more. So I want to add a shape with the title in it. So I'm going to just delete this shape, this title, sorry. I'm just going to select it and press delete on my keyboard. I'm going to go to the insert tab, and in the shapes option, I'm going to click on shapes, and I want to add this rectangle with rounded corners. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to draw it right here. It doesn't matter where, you can change it up, you can move it or edit it later. And now that I have my shape, I can just type. Okay, so I'm just going to type in my title again, coconut uses. Okay, and now I'm going to click on my shape so I don't see the little blinking text cursor, and I'm going to edit my font. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the home tab, and I'm going to make my font bigger. Okay, so I can click on the increase font here, or I can click the drop down menu and choose a size. Okay, and I want it pretty big so it's easy for my audience to see when I give my presentation. And then you can change also the font right here, okay, by clicking down on the font type and choose another font. I'm going to just choose, let me see, okay, I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to and then I can move my text around, my shape around, and that will be my shape with my title. Now I want to use another shape for something else, so I'm going to go back to the insert tab, click on shapes, and I'm going to click on use this oval or circle shape, and then I can draw it right here. Okay, and I'm going to add a picture into this shape. Okay, so I'm gonna you can right click the shape and then go to fill, or once you have your shape selected in the format tab, you can go to the shape fill, and then you click it and you want to fill it with a picture. Okay, so I'm going to click picture. You can insert a picture from online, or you can choose it from your computer if you have already downloaded, or if you have a picture yourself. So in this case, I have already downloaded a picture, so I'm going to choose from a file, and I'm going to choose my picture, select it, and then click on insert. And I have my coconut here. I can uh, go further and edit that picture if I like. If I want to make it bigger or smaller, that's inside this shape. Okay, make sure you have your shape and picture selected. Okay, go to the picture tool format. Okay, this is the drawing tools format, this is the picture tools format. I'm going to click on crop. Okay, and you can crop it further, you can move it around. Okay, but I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna move it around inside my shape. Okay, and then let's say I like it right there. I'm gonna click on crop again, and you'll see that my shape, inside my shape I have a picture. Okay, and then you can change uh, the shape outline if you want. I'm going to go back to the drawing tools ribbon, the format ribbon. I'm going to change the shape outline color, right? You can have no color at all, right? Or you can change it. I'm just gonna keep it the blue, and that is how you add shapes and all the different things that you can do with shapes. You can also add charts to your presentation. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to add it after this slide. So I'm going to go to new slide, and I'm going to choose the title and content slide. And I'm just going to click for my title of this slide. I'm going to say countries um, countries that make coconuts, right? Okay, and there's two ways, just like tables, to add a chart. Okay, in your placeholder, you'll see the option that says insert chart. If you don't have this, you can go to the insert tab, and under the illustrations, you'll see the chart option or the chart tools here, and you can click it to add a chart. But I'm just gonna add it with the placeholder here again. So I'm gonna click insert chart, and from here you can choose from all the different kinds of charts that's available from Microsoft, just like Excel. Okay, and for this example, I'm going to choose a pie chart. So I'm going to click OK here. Okay, and now it has shown you a pie chart here, but these are just some datas, okay, that PowerPoint has made up. You will have to change it. And if you look at the pop-up screen here, it looks familiar, right? It looks just like the Excel interface. And in this chart, I'm going to say countries, okay, countries that let's say just countries that make coconut. Okay, and this is just an example. I'm just making up numbers. So for this first header row, I'm gonna say country here, and I'm gonna and in this column, sorry, I'm gonna choose let's say produce. Okay, okay, and countries. So the countries that eat a lot of coconuts are countries that are in Southeast Asia. Okay, so I'm gonna say for this one, Philippines, and I'm going to say Thailand in this one. I'm going to say Malaysia, and this last one I'm just gonna say Indonesia. Okay, these just examples. And so Philippines, let's say Philippines. Let's say they make a lot of coconuts, right? They produce a lot, so I'm gonna say, let's just say like uh, 50 million pounds of it, right? I'm just gonna say 50 here. Thailand makes 35 million pounds. Malaysia makes 25 million, and Indonesia, let's just say they make 40 million pounds, right? And just some numbers. Uh, Once you typed in all your numbers, you can just close it. And if you look at your pie chart, it has already the data has been reflected. Okay, so if you look at the pie chart, the Philippines makes a lot more, right? So now that you have your chart, you can edit your chart. Okay, so make sure you have your chart selected. So click on your chart. Okay, make sure it's selected, uh, and you'll see the chart tools ribbons. Okay, and you'll see the design tab and the format tab. So in the design tab, you can change the colors, right, with uh, chart colors, or change the styles with the chart styles. So I'm going to click on more option in the chart styles, and I want to see some numbers. Okay, so let's say I like this one, because I see numbers in this one. So I'm going to click on style 11. Now let's say I don't like the colors. You can change the colors here. Okay, to be something a little bit uh, easier to read, or to what you like. I'm going to choose this color. Okay, and let's say you don't want this chart type. Okay, in the design tab again, you can change chart type right here, right? If you want a bar type or a line chart. Okay, but I'm gonna click cancel because I like a pie chart. Now, if you want to edit the data again, let's say you want to add another country, or you want to change, you made a mistake, right? Make sure you have your chart selected. In the design tab again, you'll see the option that says edit data. Click that, and your little pop-up uh, spreadsheet, right, will pop up again. And let's say that, oh, you know what, Thailand makes a lot more, right? I made a mistake. Thailand makes 45%, 45 million pounds of coconut a year, right? And make change that, close that, and it will be reflected. Okay, so Thailand makes the second most, right? uh, of coconut in a year. So and then you can resize, okay, your chart. Okay, you can edit your charts over here. You can click these options to see the options that you can select. Okay, this is just the chart styles, right? This one, chart elements. If you don't want to see the title, right, you can click deselect that to deselect the title. If you don't want to see the countries, you can deselect the legend, and it'll erase that. So these are some of the options that you have with charts in PowerPoint. Next, I want to show you SmartArt, and just like tables and charts, SmartArt can add some interesting elements into your presentation. So I'm going to go back 2 slides to the coconut slides, and I'm going to apply SmartArt to my text here. So make sure you have your text selected. Go to the Home tab and go to the paragraphs group, and you'll see convert to SmartArt. Okay, click that, and you'll see some of the SmartArt options. there are so many smart art graphics options available to you in the Microsoft Suite uh, that you can choose from. But let me just show you some of the common ones that are available. Okay, and let me show you how and what it looks like. Right. So the first one I'm gonna mouse over is the vertical bullet list, and as you can see, it shows a preview right there of what it will look like if I choose that one. Next, let me go over the vertical picture accent, and let me just mouse over some of these options here so that you can see what it will look like, and all of the available smart art that you can choose from. And I highly recommend that you use some of these because they can add a lot to your slides and your presentation, right? So I'm going to choose this vertical picture accent list because I want to add a picture to each of those slide, right? Well, each of those bullets. Okay, I'm gonna choose this one, and now that I have this, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger by dragging the corners. Okay, and I'm going to add a little picture to each of these bullet points. So coconut milk. Okay, I'm going to click on the little picture here, and then it's asking me if I want to insert a picture. I'm going to choose from a file, and I'm going to choose the first one was coconut oil, I believe, and I'm going to choose oil right here. Click insert. Oh, never mind, it's coconut milk. I'm going to right click. I'm going to change graphics from file, and it's coconut milk, so I'm going to choose milk right here. The milk picture insert, and that's coconut milk. Coconut oil, I'm going to click on it, and then choose from a file and choose the coconut oil. Click insert. Coconut butter, click on that. Choose from a file. Coconut butter, uh, selected insert, and then coconut flour, click on that, choose from a file, and then coconut flour is this one, click insert. And as you can see, if you want to make it bigger as well, just so that your audience can see it better, you can do that as well. And that is how you can add smart art into your slides. You can also, one more thing, you can also, when you have your smart art selected, you can change the color scheme of it, right? You'll see this design tab. You can change the colors, okay, of your smart art. You can change the styles if you want it like this, right? So let me just choose one. Let's say I like this one, right? Choose that. And so I highly recommend you use SmartArt. Next, I want to show you transitions. And what that means is that if you go from one slide to the other, okay, how that will look like, right? And that is the transition from one slide to the next. So going to this slide, I'm going to start with the coconut slide. In the transitions tab, select that, and then in the slides options here, you can choose from all these different slides right here, right? Fade or push or swipe or reveal. Let's just say I want the fade option. Okay, I'm going to choose this transition option. Click fade, and as you can see, it shows you a little preview of it. If you want to see it again, in the transitions tab, click the preview, and that's how it's going to transition from slide 1, okay, to slide 2, right? And let's say if you don't want that, if you want the swipe, okay, and if you want to preview it again, okay, and that is the transition, right, from slide 1 to slide 2. If you want it to be shorter or longer, okay, or the options effects, you can change the options effects right here. Let's say I want to swipe from, the top down or from the left. Let's say I want to swipe from top, Okay, it's going to swipe from the top down. If I want it to be longer or shorter, I can change the duration. Okay, let's say I want it to be a little bit longer, but remember that if you make your transitions longer, your presentation is gonna be longer as well. So keep that in mind, and then you can preview it. And as you can see, I've increased the duration, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but it looks a little bit smoother, right? Uh, the other thing is, if you want to add sound when you move to the next slide, I don't really recommend that, but if you want to use it in your slideshow, you can use that. Um, the other options that I want to show you is if you want to add it to all of your slides, you can click apply to all, and it will apply that transition to all of your slides. Okay, so you don't have to go to each slide and apply that transition if you want to use the same one. Okay, you can click on the apply to all, and now every time you move to the next slide, it will play that transition, right? It will play the for me, this one right here. Or you can if you don't want that transition, if you want different transitions for every slide, you will have to go to each slide and choose the transition, right? But the apply to all option is here. The other option is to click the mouse, okay? And let me show you what that means. Uh, uh, all that means is that when you move to this slide, from slide 1 to slide 2, when you click the mouse, it'll apply that transition, right? So these are the options for transitions. You can use it in your slideshow to make it look a little bit nicer. Now that we have covered transitions, I want to cover animations. Okay, and transition is between slides. Animations will be within the slide, in the slide that you're looking at. Okay, so I'm looking at slide 2 here, and I want to make animations for each of these bullet points. Okay, so let's say I want each of these bullet points to come up to have a animation. Okay, make sure you select your text or that you want to add the animation to, or your picture, uh, and go to the animations tab, and you can choose from the animations here, and there are a lot. You can click the more animations, and you'll see more. But I want this float in animation. I'm going to click on that, and when it goes to this slide, uh, these are going to float up, right? And if you want to look at a preview of it, when you go to this slide, the animation will play. Now you can edit the animation further by going to the effects options, right? If you want to float up or float down. um, and the other one is if you want to have each of these, because I have these this in a SmartArt, I can choose for them to float in one by one. Okay, so let me just select that for you to see what it means. I'm going to choose one by one, and as you can see, it's floating in one by one, right? And you can play with the durations. You can also play with the on click. Okay, uh, so just play with some of these options to add animations to your slide. Just like in Microsoft Word, you do a spell check. I recommend you do a spell check in PowerPoint as well, because when you do a presentation, you don't want to see any spelling errors. Okay, so to do that, it's just the same like Microsoft Word. Go to the Review tab, and you'll see the spelling tool right here. Just click that, and it will scan your presentation and notify you of any spelling errors in your presentation. So I highly recommend that you do that after you finish your slides, and just so that you don't have any spelling errors in your presentations. Next, I want to show you how to add presenter's notes to your slide. Um, and presenter's notes are only for you. So when you start your presentation or start your slideshow, only you will be able to see your notes. Okay, so not your audience. Okay, so to do that, make sure you have your slide selected. If you go down to the status bar and go over to the right, you'll see an option that says notes. Okay, if you click on that, it will add this little box right here that says click to add notes. Okay, and you can click that and you can write anything right here, right? What we use coconuts for, right? uh, so you can add a note in every slide, just so that when you give a presentation, you can see that what you wanted to talk about in your notes, uh, so that you know what to say during your presentation. Now that you have finished working on your presentation, but before you go out and give your presentation or start your slideshow and start talking about it and presenting it to people, I recommend you do a rehearsal. And what that means is that you do a practice, right? So rehearsal means to practice your presentation. Um, and to do a rehearsal, PowerPoint gives you an option to do that. Okay, if you go to the slideshow tab, okay, in the setup group, you'll see rehearse timings. Okay, and what this tool does is when you click it, a timer will pop up and the timer will start running, and you can practice what you will be saying in each slide. And then at the end, when you finish, you can stop the timer and it'll tell you how much time you have spent presenting your presentation. So I recommend you use this feature to practice your presentation before you give it. Okay, now it's time to give your presentation. Let me just tell you usually what happens. Okay, and usually when you give a presentation, you have your presentation file on your computer or your laptop, right? And usually what you do is you hook your laptop up to a monitor, to a second monitor, or you hook it up to a projector if you're at a school, right? And it will project that onto a screen so that your audience can see it. And then you will start your presentation. Uh, and when you do that, you will see the presenter's view. So what that means is that you will see all your notes, okay, and you'll see all of the slides, okay, but everybody will only see the slide that you see here, right? And they won't see the notes and they won't see the all the slides, right? So and to start a slide, okay, you can go to slideshow and start from beginning right here. You can choose that, or you can press F5 on your keyboard to start the slideshow from the beginning. If you want to start a slideshow from, let's say I want to start the slideshow from slide 3, I can select the slide that I want to start from, and then in the slideshow click from current slide, or the shortcut key is Shift F5 and that will start from this slide. Now when you are in slideshow view, okay, so when you are, I'm gonna just quickly change to reading view. When you're starting your slide to go to the next slide, there are a couple of options. You can click the mouse, okay, and it will go to the next slide. You can press the arrow key on your keyboard, okay, the forward arrow key, and it will go to the next slide or the next animation. You can also hit the space bar on your keyboard to go next, right? To move forward. So those are the options available to you when you start your presentation. That is all that I have for my introduction into Microsoft PowerPoint. There are many other things and options and tools that are available to you in PowerPoint that I cannot cover in this course, but those are some of the things. So let's get to working in PowerPoint.